All right, we're continuing our list of the 15 most successful businesses to run in a collapse. And in case you missed the first part, I'll just read the first 10 quickly here because that's what I covered. Here they are. You could grow hydroponic food. You could offer medical care or ditch medicine skills. You could grow and distill essential oils to create medicines. You could be good at shoe repair and clothing repair. You could repair firearms or be a gunsmith. You could be an expert at delivery or smuggling, both of which would be high demand in a collapse. You could be good at bicycle repair. You could have a money storage and exchange service to safely safeguard other people's money for a fee. Obviously a high-risk business. Who wouldn't want to rob the money storage vault in a collapse? You could be an animal rancher or good at processing animals into food, which I said that's not the job I want. No way. And number 10 was you could offer security services to ranchers or farmers or what have you, or just property owners, or perhaps even municipalities. They might need another deputy or police officer, and depending on the circumstances, they might be looking real hard to find somebody who's willing to help protect the public. All right, so now we're moving into number 11 with some additional comments on all these. Food preservation is a major skill that you can learn now and you can barter in a collapse. So you should know how to dry food, and I don't mean just throwing it in an Excalibur food dehydrator. You should know how to dry food using the sun without using electricity. You should know how to smoke foods using just wood and a smoker. And you should know how to salt foods, how to use salt preservation techniques, which were used by the pioneers, of course, to be able to live through the winters. They had to prepare all their foods. They had to know how to can foods, grow a lot of food in the spring and the summer, and then can it, and have ranch animals that they would butcher, and then they would salt the meats, and they would smoke the meats, and so on. If you're good at that, you're always going to have skills that are in demand. Number 12 is woodworking and the construction of farm devices. Now, this may not have crossed your mind. You might wonder, well, what kind of farm devices are you talking about? Well, there's a lot of farm devices that you probably would need, like how are you going to wash your clothes when the electricity doesn't work? Really, how are you going to do that? Well, you need kind of a hand-powered washing machine of sorts, which is really like a washing plunger and a big vat for your clothes, or a washboard that you can sort of rub your clothes against. Well, how are you going to make a washboard? You got to have some basic woodworking skills. How are you going to make a rocking chair to pass the time since there is no more Facebook? Yep, you're going to have to rock yourself on the porch and talk about them good old days. Remember when we could go on Facebook and we could click like? We had all kinds of likes. And people liked us, and we liked them, and they liked everybody else, and we had thousands of likes. Although we never met none of those people. We don't even know who they are, but they liked us. Now here I am sitting in this rocking chair, liking nobody. That's how you're going to pass the time in a collapse, right? With a rifle in your lap, because that's your security job. Sitting in this rocking chair with my rifle, waiting for nobody to like me. That's what you're going to do. So you're going to need to be able to build chairs, build tables, build doors, let's say, maybe even build a house or cabin or something, a shelter, right? So if you have woodworking skills and some hand tools, you're ahead of the game. And you know who's way ahead of the game on this? The Amish, man. The Amish, they build everything by hand right now. And they've mastered this, and they've got all the tools, the hand-powered drills, special drills. They don't need lithium-ion battery chargers. They can build amazing homes and barns and cabins out of their bare hands without using electricity. The Amish lifestyle is the self-reliant lifestyle, believe me. They are way, way ahead of the game on that. So maybe you can hang out with the Amish for a couple of weeks, if they let you, and learn some Amish construction skills. Well, I'm rocking away here with my Amish buddy. learning how to build something other than a Facebook page. Hey, can you put a like button on that table? All right, moving on to number 13. How about knife sharpening and cutting edge fabrication skills? If you can create edges, cutting edges, that is knives, even swords, let's say, but more commonly knives and hatchets and things like that, axes, then you've got a great skill. So this gets into the next one, which is actually blacksmithing, but let me focus on knife sharpening here first. Just knowing how to sharpen a knife, by the way, is a skill that, believe it or not, most people lack. It's one of the simplest things in the world to know how to sharpen a knife with a stone. And you know, you have different angles and different stone grit, basically different honing techniques, but it's real simple. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. So just knowing how to sharpen a knife is actually a barterable skill. And it's something that's very easy to learn. You can just go on Amazon.com right now and you can buy some sharpening stones, and you can buy yourself a cheap machete for $10 and you can practice on it. And you can test if you know what you're doing, chop some weeds with it or something. If it works, it's sharp. Obviously be careful, because if you didn't know how to sharpen a machete, you might not know how to use it safely either. So yeah, be careful. Anyway, number 14 is blacksmithing and metallurgy. This is pretty cool. This is a skill that I personally would like to get into. There are some ways, like how do you create an aluminum object in the shape that you want? Well, there are ways to do that using a bucket of sand and some plaster and some aluminum melting oven, and you can pour the aluminum into the mold that you made, and you can get an aluminum object. You can literally pour the frame for, an AR-15 receiver if you wanted to. You'd have to drill it out and everything, but you could technically do it. It takes some skill, some practice. But you could also make other things. You could make hammers, You could make axes. You could make simple mechanical devices. You could make horseshoes, for that matter. So if you think back in the 1800s and the town blacksmith and the kinds of things that person could do, those are very valuable skills in a post-collapse economy. And I think that blacksmithing could really make a comeback, and I'm serious about that. That's not a joke. I think that it could really make a comeback, and when the first new blacksmith businesses crop up, they're really going to suck at it, by the way, because it takes time and expertise to be a good blacksmith. And these skills are lost in America today, as are many hands-on skills, such as, gardening or welding or just repairing clothing. Lost skills. People have all these other skills that don't even matter. They know how to tweet. They know how to do search engine optimization. Who cares? They've got all these virtual skills that don't matter. I'm a 27th level wizard, and I know how to kill 47 orcs with the wave of my hand. That's a skill. Not really. Doesn't really count in the real world. Okay, moving on to number 15. Bullet fabrication and cartridge reloading. Now, for those of you who are not gun owners, you don't even know what bullets are, by the way, so I'll explain it. A bullet is just the tip of the cartridge that fires in a rifle or handgun, what have you. The bullet is the part that flies through the air and strikes the target. It does not contain the black powder that combusts and expands and accelerates the projectile, which is the bullet. No, it does not contain that. It does not contain the brass nor the primer that is set off by the firing pin to let's say, set off the black powder. Well, it doesn't have to be black powder, but any kind of rapidly expanding powder for accelerating a projectile. So bullet fabrication means being able to melt down typically lead, which is a toxic job, by the way, and to pour it into the bullet molds, and to do so in a way that the bullet weight is very accurate. So you get consistency in the bullet grains, as they're called. If you want a 62 grain, 223 round, then you want it to be 62, not 60 or 65, because that will alter your obviously the acceleration of the bullet because of the change in mass, and it will alter its flight path also because of the change in mass, and basically you'll have less accuracy. So if you know how to make bullets, you've got a pretty awesome skill. And if you know how to reload cartridges with the correct amount of smokeless powder, and to do so in a very, very consistent way that gives you accurate ammunition, which a lot of hunters know how to do this, by the way, then you've got a great skill. And really, a lot of people in the hunting states, they do load their own cartridges right now. There are a lot of people out there who are reloaders, as they're called. And I've done some of this myself, but I never really got into it enough to get good at it. I know the basics of it, so I could pick it up. I know how it's done. I actually have a simple hand-powered reloader, rotary, it's just a simple thing. But a lot of people are real serious about this, and they can make their own ammunition for hunting rounds, and they know exactly the weight of the bullet and exactly how much powder goes into it and exactly what drop there is at 300 yards, 400 yards, 500 yards, you name it. They know all that. They're good at it. They can hit, a 4-inch target at 300 yards. That's not even unusual in hunting states. And by the way, your head is bigger than that, so they can pick off people, 3 or 4 football fields away. That's not a difficult thing for these guys and gals. There are some good female women snipers as well. So anyway, if you know how to make these bullets, you've got a skill that is very, very valuable. So there you have it. Those are the 15 successful businesses that you can pursue in a collapse. If one of these strikes your fancy and you'd like to learn more about it, then I urge you to pursue it. Get the skills, because those skills might be the very thing that keeps food on your table in a post-collapse scenario. And even if that doesn't happen, aren't these great skills to have for just self-reliance and safety and self-preservation anyway? Of course they are. So thanks for listening. This is Mike Adams, the Health Ranger for TalkNetwork.com. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of the Health Ranger Report. Please support us by visiting our online store at store.naturalnews.com, where you can find the world's cleanest, laboratory-validated superfoods, nutritional supplements, personal care products, shampoo, chemical-free products, just about everything for your home and body and health that you might want, including supplements for your pets as well. Everything is laboratory-validated in our forensic food lab, and we don't sell something unless it tests clean. I think we're the only online reseller to do this really extensive testing of everything that we sell. If we don't like the lab test results, meaning if it's not really, really clean, including with heavy metals, then we don't sell it, period. We have free shipping on orders over $99 and a satisfaction guarantee on everything that we offer. So check us out now at store.naturalnews.com, and thank you for your support.